Hello everyone, Fanny here. I am happy to announce this is the last video for the Metatron's Vibe series. I started this painting for Dean 2 months ago because I'm an artist, but I'm also a mama. And so it's sometimes hard, to combine everything in your life, and you still want to have this passion and this painting. It's all a process. I'm going to explain more of it today, but it was really important for me to thank, at this point, my mentor and the persons who've been inspiring me for so long and keep me going. So I always repeat that, but it's true that without the people who call you and tell you what they appreciate in your work or help you get better as well, it makes a difference, and so I took my time to make these two paintings. It's a series. We can see, I'll take it now. It's a series of 3 paintings that I started in order to create a rainbow bridge between all of us that work together in spirit and to bring comfort to the knowledge, that all our experiences connect, and that by helping each other we are able to accomplish greater things. And so Dean is got this ability to do that so naturally, but it made it seem natural, but this is so much work. And he's like, you see, I'm looking at the video at the same time, and I see how the painting almost look like transparent, glowy. I had this little crystal of an archangel a few weeks ago, and I put these, and it reminds me really of the energy that he has when he explains something. It's not so much what he's saying. Of course, he's got years of experience and advices and formulas and stuff that work and that he shares with you, and you listen to it again and again, and this is how you start implementing it. But it's also the energy of a healer. When you're in front of a healer or a person who's got good energy, you automatically refill each other, and it's not that you're taking, it's both. When you're both giving, the energy, it amplifies, and so by connecting like this, the energy, it amplifies, and so that's a painting that represents in the colors, in the spirit, his character. And so what better than the Metatron's cube, the Archangel Metatron, and the purple ray of light for him. So I wanted a very strong energy. You see, I have this Labradorite next to me, and I've had for a long time. It's like the Buddha, the symbol, character of wisdom. When I paint, I always love to use the energy of the crystals, the colors of the crystals, and try to infuse them in the painting. And by infusing all this intention, all these consciously assembled, alchemized together, is when then the painting will spread out the energy. So even though all my paintings, they always look super simple, it's not that simple. When you look, I'm going to try to make you see from closer, every single detail represents something. So, all these letters, I'll talk about it a little bit. They are the fire letters from an oracle that I mentioned a lot. It's the last time I'm using this, but I started this tutorial and I really wanted to finish it, But it's gonna be explained in a little different way today, because symbols and colors and even the paintings, they're in evolution all the time. Our energies are in evolution all the time. If I'm taking an action, I have an idea, I'm taking an action, and as soon as I do it, it unlocks something else, and I realize, oh no, this wasn't right, so I correct it, or you have a confirmation, or so it's all a process. Where was I saying this? I'm completely lost. I was getting to something. Oh, the evolution. Yes, the evolution. Okay, it got back. So why our energies are constantly moving, and in evolution, so you take an action. It's the way, you know. And if you look at the symbol, I had a little thought about it yesterday, because at first it made me think of the Unalum symbol, you know, the symbol of the road to enlightenment, the pathway, and then you get to the center. It's like twists and turns, and the more you're centered and the more you go straight in line. I like this concept when I visualize, oh, I have to recenter, but now when I saw this, I was thinking, it's like you have the pathways that go left and right like that, or you have a choice to go straight. And it's true that sometimes we're, to say from the, you know, you like the ups, but not necessarily the down, and you're like, oh, I wish I could just go straight to it. But at the same time, it's also the symbol of the exploration. Do you want to go straight to the path, or do you want to still take the time to explore? And even the negative things that you explore, I've seen some things, experienced something I would have gone maybe straight line if I had to redo it, but some things also that you have to be aware of, in the good and in the bad. You know, it's what makes the richness of life as well, the experience. So I like this symbol because it was a different way to conceptualize, you know, and think about the exploration, because I had to redo this painting maybe 10 times because every time I would put the letters, the combinations of the symbols, I would reach a certain energy. I've explained it in another video. It's not that there is a right combination, because every time it's like you have a combination and it unlocks a door, it opens up a door, and they all open a door. It's just a different frequency. So it's like parallel worlds. Oh, I'm going straight to this. I will talk to it a little bit later, but it's like parallel worlds. So you know this show sliders, the parallel worlds, when they have their little machine and they tell them, oh, the port is going to open, the gate this time, they put a certain frequency, and it's actually how it is in real life. It is real. It's so real. It's like you're tuned into a certain frequency, and all of a sudden the entire world is different. For example, I'm talking to someone, oh, you remember when we did this? Oh. I'm like, no, this never happened. They're like, what? Like, we were on two different frequencies, and so some portions of the reality has changed for some. I mean, it's very strange. It's a feeling kind of that I get. And so I would do a combination, and all of a sudden I experience some things and I reach a new level, and or there is a new energy, and these letters have been moving, switching until I found the right energy. And so Dean is actually the one who unlocked it, because I was watching his training and I was missing this one letter. You see this one letter right here, because to me this looked like a map. That I was conceptualizing. It could be like a map, you know, with the north, the south, and the west and the east, and the G right there represents light. I was like, it's God, you know. We want God near to us, you know. So I wouldn't put it there. But then Dean was like talking about an image, you know, of a home. And so then I switched. I was like, oh, so this is the home. This is part of it's not a map where we're far from each other. It's, you know, how we're connected, but it's also a home altogether. So, see, that was interesting. How just a mind switch just unlocks the right energy. So I'm super happy with this painting. I'm super happy with the painting. I didn't expect it to be so almost like translucent. If you look from close, there is purples. Can you see it's green? So it's all the tiny dots. So here you have purples, and they're all different shades of purple. See, some of them, they almost look copper color, but they're actually purple. So you see how the colors put next to each other, they even, and there is some greens too. They change. The color are not the same depending on what color you put it next to. They kind of respond to each other, just like in an art gallery when you put paintings from next to each other and they kind of respond to each other. You see how the E right here looks kind of like an equation, almost. It was like an equation, you know, solving this painting, creating it, but okay. And when I create a painting, most of the time, it's like I know when it's done. Until it's not done, I'm like, I know it's not done. And there is always more I could do to it, but it came out, the light came out very almost gray looking, but when on camera, when you look at it with your own eyes, it's more purple. In the sunlight, it's really gonna shine, reflect, so there's a lot of metallic colors. So I put matte colors on the outside, so this shines more, but there's also some metallic colors, just so the light reflects and gets back out. So I've got a lot of notes because I know there's so many ideas that I'm already going left and right. So I was talking about this E right here, that actually means the name of this letter is Ko, that means island in Thai language. And when I was in Thailand, I went to the Koh Tao, the turtle, the island of the turtle. So the turtle, as a spirit animal, tells you to take your time. Take your time, but you know, sometimes you carry a lot on your shoulders, but once she's in the water, then she's super fast, you know. When she's on the ground, the turtle is super slow, and then I don't know if you already swum with a turtle. They're so majestic, and they're super beautiful. So I'm going to see, usually when you have a card that jumps off the deck, I was taking the Elemental Oracle, because I was talking about the E here, element. Just to start, see this one, magic. That's the one that jumped off the deck, so that's a great start with this card. It's from Stacy DeMarco. Alchemy, Science and Magic. And you see, this is how the Metatron's cube represents. Metatron is the one who helps the light workers, the people developing their spirituality, but everyone is developing their spirituality. Everyone in the world is concerned with this. The evolution of their own life. Everybody wants to get better. And so the concept I want to talk about today, it's crazy. So I was talking about I'm going to read my notes a little bit. I was talking about the parallel world, right? And how when you shift your energy, you can almost like cross dimension, like the threshold, the hero's journey. Yes, there's millions of us. There is, yeah, the painting is called Mastermind. The painting is called Mastermind. And when there's millions of us on the same frequency, watching the program, and someone who raises your vibration, then altogether we're crossing this dimension, you know, bringing the entire frequency of the planet, a lot of healing. You know, when you cross the door, you visualize that you're letting, like, something, you know, like I don't know how you call it, coming through you, but it's clearing the negative stuff, leaving them behind, and you're crossing really light. Okay, filtering, it's filtering, going through you, filtering when you're in the passage. And so all the colors, purple, emerald, amethyst. Amethyst is the stone I've been painting with. The emerald as well, super powerful stone. And there's also the green energy here. That's the green, you know, it's a lot. The green is an amazing color. It's the color of nature. It's the color of the dragon, the strength of the dragon. Here, if you look on the side, it almost look like a dragon skin at some point. You see that? Look on that side right here. The energy of the dragon, so the strength, the mystical, but it's also the color of the heart chakra, you know, the heart chakra. And the sage, the soothing, sage is a very soothing color. This is what I use on the background. Cleansing, clearing, to keep only the good, you know. So there's a lot of meanings, you know, into these colors. And then if you look at the numerology as well, so here it's so funny how life puts you know, attracts to you the information. So the Metatron's cube is made of initially the flower of life, and then you keep the circle. It's called the fruit of life. If you could look at just the black circles, it's called the fruit of life, and it's made of 13 circles. And 13 is a very important number, for me at least, because I was born on the 13 at 1300, at 13 in the afternoon. And always, you know, I've seen the 13 like a lucky number, or even maybe not lucky, but super powerful, like the 1111, you know, like you make your own luck, you know, it can be both ways. It really depends on how you program your mind. And just as I'm painting this, I discovered that the author of these letters, that she's also published this book, La magie du 13, the magic of number 13, Natalie Shintanavich. I promise, Natalie, I will leave you alone after this tutorial, but when you're amazing and you have amazing content and information, you know, it explains a lot. It explains a lot. Like when you look at your date of birth, the numbers of your date of birth, or the numbers in your phone number, all these numbers, they have a meaning. That is crazy. I have some numbers follow me all the time, and it's like they're speaking to you to put the pieces back together. So the 13 I read it in the book, it's got lots of meanings. It's also like the 13 rays of life. To me, it was always the symbol of divinity, you know. In the Bible, you have the 12 apostles, and 1 plus Jesus, which represents the divine, the divinity. So it's the 12, the humanity, that reaches the divinity, you know. The next, you know, the next stage, the next level. And in the book, she talks about the 13 rays of life, lights, the 13 doors. See, so they all could be seen like doors. They can be seen as pathways. It's really you, how you see it. You know, I'm explaining all this because this is to show you how much intention you can put in a mandala when you want to create one. Because when you create, you open your creative, when you paint and stuff, you open your creative channel. And you open your creative channel, you reconnect with the divine within you. And so then you're able to, you manifest. You manifest the words. I'm telling you, you manifest. Be careful, use positive words. When you write the positive intentions. And something that was interesting while painting that, you know, sometimes you're trying to paint things represent as they are, or you represent them as you want them to be. You know, I was reading something this morning, but like people are more focused on the result. That's what they want to see, the result. So I'm showing you right away the result. But if you want to know more, that's why I'm explaining all this. Because if you feel misunderstood, or if you feel sometimes you're crazy, how many times, this has been a big trouble for me because extraordinary things happen, but it can be in the simple things as well, you know, and like a little bird is passing by, but at this moment where, you know, where I just talked about this, you know, these little extraordinary things that happen every day is what makes you believe that you're never alone, that you're always guided, the angels are always with you, and we are all have this divine power. And when you're in the down times, this is what, you know, keeps you going. So once it's no longer a myth and it becomes science, because no one has a reason to call you crazy anymore. You know? And all this, you see, when I was painting, I kept thinking the guardians of the galaxy, you know, all the letters, they kind of like initials or a symbol that represents someone, and it's like the guardians of the door, you know, and all the dots, they're all the people, it's all of us, you know, and we're here in this world, there is all the outside world, it's like the guardians, you know, and the passage opening with the light coming out of it. And there is telepathy. Since I started painting these, a lot of things arise. Once you create connections, then you're able to almost then maybe it's just one way, you know, but I feel sometimes I'm able to hear what people think, or they were talking to me. Maybe not at all, maybe not. But at least it's how I perceive it, you know, that there is like telepathy between hearts. I like this quote, like there is telepathy between hearts. And the remote viewing, and this is so real, like, and the time travel. Like I open a book, Dean's book. The other day I was reading one of his books, and I open and I read a sentence. He wrote the book years ago, okay? I don't think like was following him already, or I was even on social media, I don't know. But I read one of his books, and there is one sentence that I feel like is written exactly for me right now at this moment, from something that happened today during my day, you know? And like, we don't realize how we are constantly time traveling, bringing information in the now for later. You know, have you wrote something before in a book and you read it like years later? It happened to me years later. I read it and it's like exactly everything that happened, or a message like talking to me, like I just wrote it to, I needed to hear this right now, you know. So this is incredible. Like all day I'm like, wow, this is fascinating. But yeah, it's important to be centered because it can also quickly turn into Jumanji. But you know, okay. So all this, it's super fascinating, but it's also like, and it's interesting to know because, for example, right now it's like Mercury retrograde, and I was reading. It's not Mercury is never retrograde. Mercury always goes its way like this. But when you cross, is when it feels like it's going away from you. Okay, so this is we call it retrograde. But as of like, you know how there is you cross a train or you cross someone and there's kind of this suction, or like in the water, if someone pulls up, there is this suction that's going to pull you up here. So it's the same with the energy, like the planets they're crossing, and as Mercury is pulling like this away, I guess this is how I visualize it, it probably pushes the energy backwards a little bit. And sometimes you're like, whoa, right now everything's going backwards, and you manifest not the right way, bad way, and you manifest just as much in the good or in the bad, you know, if you're in a bad frequency. So it's important to know this because then you can explain. I know, for example, 3 days before the full moon, I don't call, I don't have an important discussion with anyone. Like if you have to have an important discussion or a sensitive talk, don't do it 3 days or the 3 days prior to the full moon, because you know people, the energy is rising, the less little thing is going to come out, crazy arguments and stuff like that. You wait 2-3 days after the full moon, and then the energies have settled down. And so it helps you understand also other people's mind, behaviors, you know, instead of like, oh man, this person is horrible, or what's going on with it, then you're like, oh, okay, full moon, come back in 3 days, you know, it can solve a lot of problems. and also, you know, sometimes I never know, do I have to quote the book? Do I not? Some person prefer to stay, you know, anonymous, or some people want you, you know, you use their work, you mention the work. It's normal. You don't always know, or if I'm going to share, there's so many things that I would know and I could share, and I'm like, are people going to think, you know, I'm crazy, or is this going to bring trouble, whatever? And we're so used to kind of not wanting to you know, to stay kind of comfortable, but at the same time, we've changed era. We're in the era of the Aquarius now, so you see the trident here. It's also a master symbol of resurrection from the Fire Letter Oracle. But it also looks like a trident and symbolizes the water, you know, in the Little Mermaid, they're coming out of the water and they're putting the giant rainbow in the sky. The era of Aquarius, and when we started revealing, we no longer, before it was the era of the Pisces, we were underwater, the head underwater. Now, the era of Aquarius, we're the era when we're going to reveal all this and proving it scientifically and stuff like that. It's going to be more normalcy, and we're going to be able to replace the phones, you know, the bad waves that we have on the phones and stuff like that. If you can just use a crystal next to you, and you know it's going to amplify the telepathy. I mean, we're not far from that. So yeah, becoming the creator. Am I painting the now? Am I painting the now, something realism? Or do I paint what I want to see, you know? And in this case, more visionary. Creative channel, manifestation, use positive vocabulary. Yeah, I said that. Positive vocabulary, prose, rhymes, songs, you know, it's all the music of the universe. And when you see things that are horrible and put you in this anger, and there are things that make you angry, it puts you also in this vibration and you're gonna attract more of it. So even if you have a strong message, let's try to make it flow like a song, you know, that people want to keep singing with it. Okay, so the symbols, they're important because they can be a map of your path, you know. I talked about it. You can see it as a map, you can see a symbol. See, I didn't even need my notes actually, I just said everything. And wrong loop, yeah, Mercury retrograde. Okay, so I wanted to talk about numerology as well. You see, I'm saying recode, reset. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of gateways. July, you know, July 7, the 7-7. Actually, reading here about the 7. Wow. No wonder then, when number 7 was considered a divine number, the number of marriages between the material body and the eternal soul, just like it is able to marry between all the above categories. It is also the number of cycles, especially times, with the days of the week forever locked in their septenary, the 7 virtues, the 7 internal organs, the 7 sages of Greece, the 7 riches of India, the 7 chakras, points. Even the Great Pyramid of Giza, some argue, is built upon the geometrical representation of number 7, the heptagon. It's funny because in the other book, they say there actually is 13 chakras. We have 7 chakras inside our body, and then we have extension chakras, like the earth chakra and the star chakra over our head. So this is from another great book, Philomath, Robert Grant. I started, fortunately, I haven't had the chance to read all of it, so dive into it. But I love to just open the book and just like a tarot card, you know, to just open the book and read a few pages. And I come back to a book, or see, like right now, I open the same page here as I opened in Dean's book, and I was comparing what's on both pages, and it's funny because it's always something relevant to see. And the numbers, during these portals on the 7th, I think on the 7th of July, we're going to be able to reset really our energy, where we can do it right now. I feel like going through all this, I'm resetting my energy, like I said, crossing and leaving the stuff behind, but not like forget about it, but to alchemize it, trying to alchemize it. Okay, and so we can tune into the right of the parallel worlds. Digging into darkness to bring you all back together to the light. No more hiding. And this is why sometimes, you know, some negative things reappear and truth and stuff, and we all can feel it, like we're all digging into this darkness to bring it out to the light. Okay, to alchemize it. We're not just going to bury over on top. We're digging it out, bring it to the light. You see, like the trident right here, resurrection. And looking at the symbols, we can look at the symbols a little bit. If you can see this one, if you can see this one, right here, the peace and love. It's a symbol that I found. I did not create this one either, but I haven't seen it a lot. I've seen it once somewhere on the internet. I thought it was a really good one. Symbolize the peace and the love, you know, and like the union of the feminine and the masculine, you know. I love this symbol because it makes me think of the concept of unconditional love, you know, like the love, you know, between soulmates, or the love between a mother and her son, or between two persons that have this very strong connection, you know, this unconditional love that you love a person no matter what. You know, there is someone that, you know, no matter your flaws or your qualities, your success or your fails, you just love each other, you know. And the love is also, if you love someone and they don't love you back, do you just stop loving them, or you still love them? Like, you know, if you really love someone and they just, someone who, let's say, they don't care, you just don't stop loving them, you still love them. It's true love, you know. Or if your child does something that if anyone else would have done that, never, you know, but it's your son does something, you can never stop loving your child. You always, so that's the love. You and once you're able to develop, to find this unconditional love with a few person or with one person, then it raises the frequency of everyone. It shows, it generates so much energy out, because like I said, it's not you give and take, it's you both give and it expands. So it comes out that then it generalizes in more people. You're more able to develop this connection also with others. Yeah. And so the next symbol, yeah, talking about this, see, right on point, right here. Then we have Nesme, it's another fire letter. And this one, I don't know if you can see it, looks like an N almost. What do you think it looks like? An N, a snake, a dancing shape. You see, the snake is the symbol of the Kundalini awakening. Okay, and Nesme, I don't know, it's a very dancing name. And the Kundalini awakening, so the passage, you know, the spirituality, the development of these new abilities, the telepathy, the time travel. So it's not essentially you who's like time traveling, it's the world around you that's shifting. It's very interesting. And I was saying that I have a way to prove this. Yes, I'm going to explain in the third painting. Okay, I need to hurry up because I could speak about this for 3 hours. Let's take a little oracle cards break. I have another oracle I want to show you. Here, it's called the Lightworker Oracle. The Lightworker Oracle. From Alana Fairchild. Okay, it's like, to me it's so obvious that it's from Alana Fairchild. She's one of the best oracle cards author. She's written so many oracles, the Kuan Yin transmission oracles, lots of goddess teachings, and the light workers is just beautiful. The cards, look at these cards. I picked this one last time, so it's still there. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle. And see the N at the bottom right here. It's funny because I was saying it makes me think of a map, you know, how the north should be on top you know, but here the north is at the bottom, like it's like the poles are shifting. You know, it's a lot of prophecies and stuff talking about this. I don't know how it's gonna look like, but okay. Not very easy to spread out. But let's pick a card for everyone right now. You can draw a little symbol of manifestation. It's like a circle like this with a Y. Okay? Like, you know, the little peace sign like this, but turned around like this, like a Y. It's a manifestation symbol. You're welcoming, like a funnel, and anchoring down to the earth. And then let it out. We can all think of manifesting a rainbow, for example. Let's all think of manifesting a rainbow bridge between all of us from heart to heart. And tell me in the comments if you've seen a rainbow here in the next 2 days or 2 hours. Okay, I'm gonna pick a card here. Okay, so okay, for me, in the next 2 seconds, okay, look. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Okay, the rainbow bridge. The rainbow bridge. Okay, you see, I wasn't cheating. I spread them in front of you. First card I picked. Okay, so you see how fast you can manifest. Ascension, the rainbow bridge. Wow. I love this. And she's doing exactly like, imagine the rainbow and do this. Oh my gosh. You see, isn't it crazy? The little things. But I do this a lot. This is how I believe so much in telepathy nowadays, because I've been buying all these books lately from all the people I follow and I admire, and I've been buying their books to support, and because I'm interested in seeing, you know, their research and having it and go like this, find a passage and get more information. And since I received them, every time I'm doing a video like this, so I'm connected, channeling at the same time, I literally channel the book. And I've done this like at least 10 times, 15 times since the past 2 months. I have the book in my hand and I'm introducing the book or whatever I'm talking, and I open the book, or right now I pick a card and it's literally exactly what I said, like right now. And so you see, I had them in front of me. I was just absorbing the energy. It's like I was reading the energy and I was time traveling, because it's like I was already in the next moment reading it's like a time loop. I don't know, it's weird. Or I was just reading it and then it was coming out. So, whoo, yeah, and I feel a lot of energy. So let's read the card, the rainbow bridge, and it's also, you see the letter right here. This is a master symbol of realization. I'm gonna make you look at it. Okay, so the rainbow bridge, so from the heaven and to earth. You see this one, rainbow bridge, coming from the heaven. Yes, it's the double rainbow bridge. Of realization, because all this connection, this is what we're doing right now. Okay, so I hope you comment where you've seen your rainbow, because I know if you're watching this, you're going to see a rainbow. Okay, so card 18. You have been growing spiritually and your consciousness is expanding. It is transforming your experience of the material world from something you must control or conquer into a living expression of the radiant divine. As your appreciation and love for the material world becomes more unconditional, so too does the light that can flow into your aura, chakras, and physical body. As you psychically expand, you may need more rest, healing, and meditation than usual to integrate this increasing degree of light and the consciousness it awakens within you. The rainbow bridge is a term for the channel of light that moves through your chakra system and along your spine, allowing spirit to enter your body and stimulate the development of your soul. This bridge comes to life as your consciousness is raised. It draws in higher energies that nourish and awaken your body, mind, and soul through your chakra system. As your chakra becomes stimulated by the increasing influx of spiritual light, a clearing process begins which supports the consequent expansion of your consciousness. This clearing is like a spiritual detoxification, so see, like a filter. It clears blocks from your mind, emotional body, and physical body, as well as from your soul, such as unresolved past life issues. As these blocks are broken down and processed, emotional trauma stored in your organs and nervous system can be released, and your energy field becomes more spacious. This creates room for an increase of spiritual light. As a result, you feel clearer about who you are and why you are here, and others see more clearly when they are in your field. You become more powerful. Okay, a little pause here. Something I forgot to say, I wanted to say in my... Oh no, I'm not there yet. But it's about the blocks. Okay, I'm going to finish reading. Your energy fields continue to clear itself, attracting more spiritual light, becoming more visible beyond physical limits. Others can be supported by your light, even if they cannot see your physical body. You are growing as a light worker and helping humanity in increasing ways, whilst enjoying your own spiritual growth. You are opening to new consciousness now. With this comes new insight, awareness, and an awakening or deepening of your soul talents such as healing, clairvoyance, channeling, or telepathy. Your channels are being cleared and activated. Rest, open up and allow. Be patient and trust in your process. If emotional content arises and you are concerned you may be falling back into old habits, do not be afraid. Find ways to express what you are feeling through writing, therapy, dance, music and art, sound, and conscious movement. Explore your personal expression to allow for spiritual expansion. This oracle brings an additional message from Spirit for you. Hold on. Ascension can be a wild ride. Anything is possible. Anything. The past is not an indicator. The future is not set. This is a moment to cultivate your deepest feelings of spiritual love and peace. It's constantly moving. It's evolving. Simply allow the genius of life to flow through you in whatever way it chooses. During ascension, your life can change quite dramatically. The Rainbow Bridge empowers us to rise from one reality to another. Even if your outer world doesn't change radically, internally, you will feel as though you are living in a different life. Eventually, the physical world changes will follow. Enjoy crossing the Rainbow Bridge into new consciousness, dear one. You have everything you need. You are ready for this. It is meant to be. Oh, I love it. And I love her, and I follow her on Instagram, Alana Fairchild. And so I know her voice and how she talks. So when I'm reading the oracle, it's like she's talking at the same time. So it's really sweet. And what you see, I should have just started with Dada because it's the same thing. And once again, it's super interesting because not only, I'm excited to show you her work, but it also proves how we're all connected through this energy field. Okay, it's called the Akashic Record. It's a library that's in the air. It's not a place. It's a place that you access at anywhere. You can access anytime. And this information, how all the time I'm reading from someone, I'm just channeling at the same time the same information. So it's possible that two persons have the same idea, and you just see them from different ways. You know, we're complementing each other, not even complementing, but supporting, improving each other. You know, it's this is how we all go further. And so about the blocks that I was reading in there. Okay, so one of the letters here, the D, you know, it also makes me think of dream. So dreams come true. This is something you can, so I'm going to give you 2 mantras that you can tell yourself, okay, 3 things that you can tell, maybe 4, okay, that you can tell yourself, little sentences to remember, okay, all the times, that dreams come true. Okay, dreams come true. Dreams come true, okay? When I wanted to go to Peru, that was crazy. I had almost nothing. I went to Peru. I went there. I found a job. I made a visa. I had no visa, no job. And then I didn't want to leave, so I made sure I spent all my money going to Machu Picchu, exploring everything, so I couldn't leave. I had to find a solution, you know. Everything I dreamt ever going or doing came true. And even though it was not in a realistic way, and people tell you that it's not realistic, that, you know, you have to make up your mind, or it's safer to come back, or whatever. And you know, I think this is why there's more people when you're 35 or 40, or you're reaching a little, in your 20s, you're ready to take on the world and stuff like that. You know, you're getting out of your parents, you're experiencing, and then you've had your successes, you've had your fails, but by the time you're like, at my age, you start realizing, you know, you carry more weight. And so if you've had people 10,000 times tell you, this is not realistic, or this is not how you do it, blah, 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 it just adds up. And this is how you create more blocks. This is why sometimes we're slower, we believe a little less, because we've been kind of teared down by life a little bit more, and then it can take more time. But you know what? I found the secret, the magic formula, that if someone tells me that it's, you know, because most of the time I come up with, I got this awesome idea, yeah, so excited, you know, and then like, but you're crazy or whatever. So now I'm like, can I enjoy my joy? This is one thing. Can I enjoy my joy? It's not even trying to prove that I'm right. It's not even trying to convince them. It's just like, can I enjoy my joy? Does it bother someone that you have a dream? I don't know, if someone is telling me this awesome project and stuff, I'm like, yeah, do it, you know, even if maybe you're gonna fail, but maybe you're gonna succeed, you know? So yeah, do it, try it. I don't know when telling someone that it's not realistic. Anyways, so yeah, dreams come true. And if someone is great, so this is these blocks that accumulate, you put a stop to it, you just say, can I enjoy my joy? And right away, people are like, you know, okay, they're not going to tell you, yeah, no, but no, it can be fun. I think it makes them have a switch as well on the mindset, you know. And one other, okay, that's been helping me a lot when I was in Peru, while I'm thinking of it, maybe I should share it. It's todo es por algo, todo va a estar bien. Todo va a estar bien. Quand je suis arrivée when I arrived in Peru, I had my friend Paolo, you know, I was looking for a job and an apartment. It was hard, everything starting anew by myself, you know. I had friends. I met friends right away when I went in Peru, and they were so welcoming. And so my friend Paolo, we were just walking all the time, and every time he would repeat to me, todo es por algo, no te preocupes, todo va a estar bien, todo va a estar bien, all the time. Everything's gonna be alright, everything's gonna be alright. And I don't know, he said to me so many times that this has followed me for the longest time. I just, when I'm in trouble or whatever, I can hear his voice like, todo va a estar bien, todo va a estar bien. And it's true, and in the end, everything is alright. So you see, manifest, you draw this little Y, manifest, visualize the rainbow bridge. See, I'm not lying in the manifest. And the painting, when you create your painting, you're opening your creative channel. So then you put yourself in the spot of the creator, okay? I'm not saying you're God, I'm saying we all have the divine within us because God made us to his image, right? So I told it in another video, maybe I'll cut it, but while I'm in the topic, when we were in Mexico, I wrote this in one of my books as well. You can check my website, pachamama.org. I have my travel books, travel inspirations, because the point of doing all these and showing all the time different cultures, different people, different symbols, is to show the beauty of the diversity, okay? Yes, proving that we are one. There is this one thing that connects us all, but no matter in our differences, we all want the love, we all want to do good and better, we're one, but the beauty of a diversity is what makes life beautiful, or otherwise we would all be in competition if we're all the same. But we're not, we're complementary, we all work together. And so yeah, there was this bioluminescence. There was this spot on the beach where you would have the bioluminescence at night. So we go in the water and it's so dark, dark. You can't see anything. You're in the water, and in Holbox in Mexico, we could go super far in in the water without being too deep in the water. And like we start walking in the water. And so you imagine it's super dark, so you don't know where you're going. You don't know left, you don't know right. If you're far, if you're not. So I had vertigo. So I remember telling my husband, I was like, I can't go, I have vertigo. He's like, but you're not on height. I was like, I know, but I can't see, I have vertigo. I'm almost paralyzed. And so then I was like, asking a star, can there be a star like to help me just see a little bit? And then there is this star like that just lights up the way, like in the water. We start going, and there the water starts becoming like bioluminescent, and it was crazy because I was taking drops of water and throwing them like this on the rocks, and it was like all creating like little spots of light, like galaxies, right? And I really felt like God at this time. I felt like I was creating the galaxy. I was just like a little paint right here, a little paint right here, just with the water and the light, with the electricity, the energy. And sometimes when I paint and I redo like this, it's kind of this feeling, that you're taking into all this energy and you put it in the painting. And then you don't have to do anything. It just makes this thing. Just like when you see commercials in the street every day, you pass along with them, they still work on your subconscious. Okay, so talking about subconscious, I think I told everything about that. Oh yeah, and creation. So yeah, looking at this letter, you see how it looks like a F almost. So F made me think. So see, this is not what's written in the book for the fire letters, but for this one, I wanted to give another energy of how else I would feel the letters and stuff while I was painting. And so the fire letters, and the fire is the creative fire, okay? Just like when you're eating, that's why men got given the fire, so it could help them eating, cooking their food. And when you have warm food, it actually helps the digestive system. If you eat raw food, it's good because you have more nutrients, but it's in the long term, if you eat only raw food, it gives too much work to your stomach, because the stomach has to cook, make the work of cooking the food for you. So if you eat raw, sometimes to warm up the food a little bit can help your digestive system not to have to take so much energy warming up the food and cooking the food. So the creative fire is literally the impulse, okay, that's gonna put you, I don't know you, but for example, and I shouldn't say this because it's not a reason that again I will try to drive me crazy so I create something, but have you noticed that when someone like makes you mad or something and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna let this happen, I'm gonna make better or whatever, you know, you have this little impulse, or oh, I'm gonna show them, you know, I'm gonna show them, just I can do it. And so when you have like kind of this fire, this burning in you, and I'm not saying this as I want it to be, I'm saying this by experience. I've noticed sometimes I'm angry, I create more amazing things because all this fire, this energy, negative energy, I alchemize it into something just as strong but positive. And one of my best paintings or writings that I wrote on my social media and stuff, most of the time it's when I'm like, I'm mad, I'm telling myself, okay, now you got to prove yourself something, you know, and so you converting, alchemizing your emotion into your superpower, okay, you're redirecting the energy, yes, instead of like putting your energy towards someone. And most of the time, be careful how you have this energy building, the creative fire energy, and it's right here, you're about to put it in your painting or in your video or in your writing, in your thing, and just at this moment something comes up. I don't know for you, but for me it's every single time. And something comes up, like not something negative, but for example, my mom calls me, okay, my mom calls me and I had all this right here, and my mom calls me just at this moment, and I'm gonna tell her everything, and we talk and stuff, and then I hang up, and what I had to let out, I already let it out, and then I don't have the same spontaneity putting it into my creation. Okay, so it's also the momentum, you know. Now I understand the momentum theory. You know how you see, almost you can see I have it in my hand, and I'm giving all this energy in the video right now. I'm waiting for a friend, and she's probably gonna join us in a minute, but I felt like I had to start like at this minute before something comes and I can do the video. And I have all this energy. I have this energy in my hands right now. I'm gonna put a new card. I'm gonna get a new card. The 7 ray of ritual, order, and ceremony. It's kind of like our ceremony today. Oh look, amazing. It's kind of a ceremony today because it's the graduation. It's the last. I'm going to show you the 2 other artworks. And look at the card. Look at look at her arms. You see the manifestation symbol I was telling you about earlier. She's doing it. Okay, so she's got the light, she's welcoming it. She's kind of a warrior of light worker. And wow, I was actually talking about, wow. Okay, yesterday, okay, how to redirect, I have a huge download of information. Okay, so statue. I'm going to talk about this statue after. Yeah, we have a statue here. We have a statue here in Jacksonville. I just don't understand it. It's like a guy with angel wings like this on a statue, and there's a bunch of like women, dead body of women laying on the floor, and he's over it. I just don't get this statue. If someone can explain to me like the meaning, because to me it's kind of like kind of weird, like a bunch of guy like this with all the dead women under, like what's going on? And you see here, it's kind of like the same shape. She's on top, and there's women under, but these women, you see, they're raising up. They're about to raise up. They're not gonna die. They're raising back up. Okay, it's taking back our power. Okay, showing. I know I have it somewhere here. Taking back our power. Because I have a friend, and we're all as artists, it's hard, let's be honest, to make a living, and for everyone, not just artists, everyone has their business, their ambition, and mostly if you're doing it all by yourself, it's hard sometimes to make a living. And she's amazing, she's one of these persons that they always look like they have it all together. You would see them, you're like, oh, she has it all together, and these are the people you see, like the strong people. You don't assume that they need help. You're like, oh, she's got it all together, she's the strong one, and when I talk to her sometimes about the business and stuff, she always tells me, she's like, it's not about the money, it's about the consciousness. It's the mission. I do this because I want to help people, and the consciousness. And I'm the same, and this is why I do all these videos. The consciousness, it's what keeps me going, and I feel like it's a mission to share it. But at the same time, if you can't make a living, then you're not going to be doing this for too long either, and I'm just like her. I'm like, I don't want the money, I just give it away, whatever. But then you're the one who's not able to keep going with your mission. So it's a balance. If you had to choose between the mission and between wealthy, you need both. To be able to keep going and spread the mission to a higher level. So one thing that I wanted to do, and this is how then you can raise and take back your power. Where did I write this? But anyways, taking back the power. Okay, anchoring it in the material world as well. And so okay, just a few more things. So yeah. Oh yeah, and so this was the other story that I forgot to tell. So take back your power, and when you have obstacles as well. Another thing I've noticed in my personal case, but many people say that spirituality should be easy. If you're aligned, the path should flow. In my experience, I'm always trying to be aligned, but it's more like crazy like this, like it's a party there. So I don't know about if you're spiritual and aligned and stuff, the path should flow. I don't know about that. But in my experience, most of the time in my life, when I was about to have a huge breakthrough, something amazing, I had some crazy thing happen, obstacle right in the front, kind of like the test, the threshold. We were talking about it earlier. I was going to my master's degrees interview, which is there was amazing masters. I knew there was a lot of applications, and I could not miss this interview. Really, if you miss it, then that's it for you. And I'm driving there to the interview. It's 2 hours away from my house, but it was the day before, so I had a day ahead. But it's the evening, I'm driving, it's pure sunshine, I'm already in my little Ford Fiesta, going there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there is this giant cloud, black cloud, that comes right above the highway, like in the Truman Show, when like, you know, he's at the beach and there is this little thing of rain right over him, and he's like, he moves and the rain follows him, like the same. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this giant clouds comes like right above the highway. Everything turns like literally black, dark. You can't see anything, foggy. I'm on the highway from like summertime to the apocalypse, right? And all of a sudden there is this storm and like ice packs like this falling down, like almost like snowballs. I'm like, what is going? Is that a joke? I'm calling my mom like, I'm gonna die. What's going on? Like, I'm gonna turn around. I'm stopping on the side and I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere. Yeah, so I'm here in my car. So there is all this like ice coming down. So I'm wondering like, so what do I do? Do I keep going or do I go home? Like, it's, you know, I can't give up. I'm going to my interview, but at the same time I can't keep going either. And then I remember. I'm like, oh, that's the test. That's the test. Every time I have something like this, there is this, like, literally, you know, in French, we have this expression that says it's bigger than the house. When something is just so incredible, like, you know, the bigger and the more it's like, the more incredible it is, and you're like, what's going on? And so I'm like, oh, that's the test. So I'm just gonna keep going. And so I kept going like 1 mile an hour, you know, I was like, I don't care, I'm going. And I went through. And after that, the sunshine came back and I went to my interview and they picked me right away. And so I always remember this moment when I have a lot of challenges in my life, like right now when it's just like one thing after another, you know, that you're just like attracting the bad. So this is how the painting helped me visualize my life and look at things from a higher standpoint. To see the obstacle and know that on the other side there is the positive that's gonna come, or to know like when you're at the bottom, you know, you're not here being buried, you're being planted, or you're grabbing the darkness and you're converting it into light, you know, you're alchemizing things. So all this concept, by painting I automatically remind myself of it, and that in order to keep going. But of course when you have like people and friends like Brendalyn that just showed up while I was telling the story, and she's right here next to me. Yeah, you can come. We're together. Hi. So, you know, she's always there. Brendalyn, we met during a workshop a few weeks ago. And, you know, since then, she follows my art. And when I'm like, oh, I'm going to give up, whatever, she comes to me, she's like, no, you're not going to give up, you know, you're going to keep doing it. And so she called me right before I started. I was like, well, why don't you come? We can finish recording this together, and it's gonna. Also, I always do the workshop when I'm by myself because I feel like I have to focus. But also, when you have someone next to you, then you also feel like you're actually explaining, you know, to. And I know I'm talking like you're with us, you know, it's like the table of the world as well. So if you're watching this, you can comment where you are or how, you know, the experiences you've had as well, you know, that shows you you're in a breakthrough at the same time. Okay, so the last part, so remember the storm before the calm, that's what I call it, the storm before the calm. Keep going. Okay, and the last letter, we finally get to it. Where is it? Right here, the T also reminds, and it looks like a T. So this letter is called Ek. Ek, one of the fire letter. That made me laugh because, you know, Dean, when he talks in trainings and stuff, he's always like, Ek here, you know. And then this card came up, and I was like, that's the good pair, you know. So Ek, actually, in the book, to stick to what the book says, that it was an invocation to in the Incas culture, it was an invocation to the master, okay? So they were saying that to call upon the master's energy, okay? This painting is called Mastermind. So it's really this master, archangel, super powerful energy that's coming out of it. And yeah, so two things. Watching the training, so Tony Robbins, he was talking about the Fijis. I mean, okay, two things. So he was talking about, let's start with that. He was talking about the posture, you know, how you have to stand up and watch your posture to change your energy in a movement. And just the day before that, I read something about the chakras. So you know how we always say our chakras are linear, right? Our chakras are linear. And so if you have a block in one of your chakras, like your expression or your heart chakra, or you have blocks from people like blocking you all the time and stuff like that, it prevents the flow, and then it prevents you from manifesting. Okay, so you can receive as much as you want. I receive information, great ideas, projects, all the friends, everything, but because I have these blocks and this chakra here that's blocked, I can't anchor it. And so in the end, I don't manifest. So this is something important for you to know, because if you're in a space that sometimes I'm like, I do everything for it to be right. And why it's not working? Because sometimes it can be just to have a little energetic block that just prevents you. So knowing that, you can work with the paint certain colors to unlock your chakras, or do exercise like Tony was saying to change your energy, you know, in your body, or work out like Brendaline, she does as well. There's, you know, she likes sports and trails. I'm not very sporty, but I like to paint. So we all have our, some people do the meditation, we all have our thing. But then the day before, I was reading about the ninjas. So I don't know if you know about the ninjas. I don't know much about the ninjas, but there is this show called Naruto. I haven't seen it either. This is all stuff I read while I was painting this. They talk about how they can see the chakras differently, and instead of seeing them straight line like this, they actually see them like a circle, like they're spinning, you know, against each other. And so there will be a chakra in the middle, then the 6 other chakras around it. But then the combination of these two, they create another chakra. The combination of these two, they would create another chakra. And then so on and so on. And so they're able to create a new chakra outside of their body, and this is why they have better abilities than us. Like you can see them, they climb on walls, they you know, they flip, backflip and stuff like that, because they're able to control their energy, extend the energy outside of themselves, and then develop their also physical abilities in the material world as well. So that was interesting. That was interesting because in that case, you don't really see the blocks anymore. There's no more reason for it to, like, if it blocks in one way, it's no longer linear. That's what I appreciate with this vision, is that it's no longer linear, but you can see it in another way, like it can be spinning. Either way, it's good to do cleansing. And I have this amazing Amazon painting in my living room right there, and she's burning sage like this, and so I constantly feel like she's, you know, keeping just good energies in my home. And yeah, so the last thing that made me laugh when I saw that Tony, he has a resort, or he was talking about the Fijis and how like the people are happier in Fijis, and it made me think again of the Truman Show, you know, when he always wants to go to the Fiji, you know, because the girl, she told him she's going to go to the Fijis, and so he's dreaming of going to the Fijis. And to me, it represented, like, you know, when he escaped, he gets out of this fake life. Have you seen the movie?
I've seen it.
When he escapes of like this fake life from the fake city and stuff like that, and then, you know, he's gonna go to the Fijis, you know, so it's like the light at the end of the tunnel when you realize it's all a simulation, a theater, and you get out of this, you cross into the threshold, always like this image. So I think that's it, like for this painting. So yeah, by all focusing on manifesting the good and this, we're all elevating together. So this is mostly the big energy of this painting. I think it's been an hour and a half of telling everything. You're like, okay, we get it. We get it, thank you. So I'm going to show you the other two paintings, okay, they're part of the same series. It's not going to be taken as long of a presentation because I've already talked about the shape and the thing and everything. Oh, you can stay with me, Brandy. Okay, so there's this one as well. Oh, if it's gonna fit, why not? Thanks. Thank you. And okay, so this one is like the feminine version of the Metatrons, and it's funny because right now you took this drink, it's like a purple drink, and you see it's the same color as the cube, as the Metatron's cube. So it's more of a feminine version of the Metatron's cube, more natural. See how the other one is very cosmic and almost like mechanical, like a gate, and this one is more like a garden. This one I call it the garden. In the morning, at the morning light in the garden.
Is that the sun rays right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you have.
I see it.
The rays. I've put like the one ray blue, one ray pink, like the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies that come out of it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And I left it empty here because I wanted to leave space for the energy to come through. And this is for Lulu, Lulumineuse, and I've talked about her before, that she's ready also, just like Dean to me, he's like the archangel master, and she's like the feminine version of, you know, the Metatron, the energy. She's incredibly great channel as well, but like I say, every time I watch one of her videos, she's directly answering one of the questions I'm asking myself, like the same day, or we're living the same thing at the same time, or she's going to use an image. And this is how, it's not just for me, it's because she connects, you know, to the collective energy. Even I'm doing this thing, we connect to everyone. And so something that's, if it's speaking especially to you, it's going to speak to the person watching right now, because there is a reason why we're connecting like that. And so it's more natural and flowing, and it's, you see, it takes I like to do the plants and stuff. I like to do this kind of shapes. I'm not really good at doing a real flower, a real tree and stuff, but I like when it's more like shapes, curves and stuff like that. There is a little cherry blossom tree. I might have to add some little leaves here, but you see how I was talking about the 13 crystal skulls. Did I talk about that earlier? You see how here there is this transparent see-through paint. Here, let's see, with some sun we'll see it better. The reflection. And so while I was painting that, I was reading about the 13 crystal skulls. So I don't know if you know about this prophecy that I've heard before, but in the book, in that book again, I read about it, and just there is a reason why I read about that, just as I'm painting that. So there is this, I think it's true, but it's like a legend, prophecy, you know, artifacts, like historic artifacts, ancient artifacts and stuff like that, they carry a lot of energy, they carry a lot of power, because they were putting all their rituals, their things into it, so these things still carry the energy. And right here, okay, yeah, so that there will be these 13 crystal skulls that have been dispersed, but once they're reunited, once every 30,000 years or something like this, they all reactivate together, and they're made of this specific crystal, a very special crystal, that only when they're activated and only when humanity is ready, which means that you could have it, and if you're not ready, it will not activate. Just like any doorway, or if you know what they say, the master appears when the student is ready. And so they act, once they're all put together, they would unleash so much energy that you would be able to do a bunch of magical things and stuff, which is good if you have good intentions, but it's also what intention you put into the work and into the everything. But I was talking, now I'm making this connection because sometimes also, personally, I haven't seen one of the crystal skulls. I wish. I want to know if there are some, where they are, who has them, But sometimes also you have a lot of symbolism in the prophecies and stuff like that. And I was talking a bit earlier about the unconditional love and how, when you feel unconditional love for someone, and mostly if it's reciprocal. If it's not reciprocal, you still have the love, but mostly if it's reciprocal, you both unleash this energy that's coming out of you and kind of diffuse to everybody else around you as well. That's why, you say that the happiness is contagious. The happy people, you're next to them, they make people happy as well. So it's probably a lot of symbolism as well with the story of the skulls on how, the soul reunion of the people, of the guardians of the galaxy, or of the communities, of the natural world and the human world, all things that can have been disconnected and reconnecting together, how it unleashes, like when you're so happy that you met someone, you met a new friend, because it unleashes all this positivity and then influences the world. But I do think they exist though, the crystal skulls.
We do.
I do think they exist.
Gotta discover it.
Yes. Okay, so I'll take one more card. Brandy, you want to take one card for this painting? Yes. And then I'll explain the last one. Thank you. You're welcome. Star Child. Beautiful. Look, it's just like your nails. Colors too. All the little planets. Star Child. Beautiful. Let's see. I have a book.
Number 8. It's my favorite number.
Is it? Yeah, number 8. Number of infinity.
Absolutely.
Infinity. And we were also talking about this. Infinite love. There you go.
Okay. Star Child. The light of the stars exists in you. The earth wants you to share that light with humanity. You are asked to understand that you are meant to be here, that you have spiritual work to accomplish. Give up the idea that you belong somewhere else, to another home in the stars. Instead, let the starlight of your inner being shine here on earth, where it shall make such a positive difference in the world. Fall in love with Earth's beauty. She can and will support you in all ways.
So,
yes, wonderful.
yeah.
There's more to it, but I'm going to read that off on my own.
Okay.
That's going to be for me, but
Yeah.
the Star Child is absolutely appropriate for me. And yeah, I'm going to take this one for sure. For light, for love and light. Going to make that clear. The energy for the Star Child.
Yeah, this is about the card. The cards are so beautiful. Also, we're talking about the astrology and stuff earlier. All right, you just have great energy. I love it. See, I got this the other day. It's like a little jar, and we're all here together around the world, holding each other's hand, next to each other. The crystals as well. So see, that's the one I wanted to show with this painting. So this is the crystal that inspired me to paint this one, the Metatron's, this Metatron's cube. I found this at the gem show, and it made me think of her, and then I was like, okay, this is the colors that I'm going to put in the painting. So this is gonna go together, you see. It's like a little tree forest. You see, it does look better with the once you have the little crystal, you're like, oh yeah, that's a nice combo.
Yes.
I love this little tree. Yeah. Okay, and the last, so now I'm gonna do an introduction of the last painting, but it's going to be short because I'll do longer introduction when I'm in France. So this is the third painting of the series. I might start again. Ah! Okay. Oh yeah.
What to take with you for inspiration? Which one did you grab?
So I grabbed another one. It's called 1111 actually.
Yes.
Messages in the number.
Yes.
Messages in the number. So this came up. So just when I put this new painting here, thank you. When I put this new painting here, I pulled the card and look at the colors. No, but seriously, you see when you look at the cards, it's also the imagery. It's not just the message. Look at the imagery. Did you see? I know it's been an hour and a half. But it's great because you see as I'm working, every time I pull the card, how it's relevant, you know, how it's relevant to the person who's picking the card, to the moment. So I just put that card. Look at the colors. Isn't it exactly the colors of the painting here that I'm about to tell you about? Even the shapes, it's like a waterfall of information. I know it's a lot of information I'm saying today. And maybe that looks long and stuff, but I know here in the next few days, then you're processing the energy. It's also not just what I'm saying, because I always repeat, I feel the same things. But at the same time, you know, I still sometimes meet someone who doesn't know what a mandala is, for example. So or an oracle card. So if for me or for you, it seems obvious because we repeat a lot, there is also always a new information that's going to process what we're talking, channeling. You see this rainbow, I sent a rainbow earlier, and so, you know, tomorrow is going to be rainbows everywhere, you know, but it takes days to process. And the 1111 is really like what the awakening code, okay? So when I was in Peru, I was saying 1111 all the time, like it's even one day, I said this in another of my video, I think, I can't remember, but that I was watching the 1111 one day and I felt like the number literally came like through me and redirected to the TV, and like the TV almost like blows up, you know. That was crazy. And since I've seen that, I always knew there was a strong energy in the numbers, in the dates and stuff like that. So pay attention, you know, because the world and the earth, they're talking to you all the time. In everything, in the air, in the wind, in the element. Like just literally Brandy called me just before I started this. I'm telling you, I was ready to start my thing. And then she calls me and I had this minute, I was like, oh, what do I do? You know, do I want to just have it done? And then I was like, oh, you know what? There's a reason why she called me right now. Maybe, you know, I need her to be with me, to have her energy, and we can do it together, you know, and I'm about to go to France. And I was like, I always say in the videos are great, but it's also so important to connect, you know, in the real world also together. And so I'm really glad you came today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm really glad you guys are here today also. So yeah, it's a lot of energy, and I could speak for maybe 6 hours and tell you more, but maybe don't have that kind of time. That's why I do short videos. But yeah, the message in the numbers, and this is the message in the letters. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about the sigils. So the sigils, okay, I don't have the book right here, it's in my office, but it comes from a book called the Fundamental Book of Sigil Magic. Okay, so at first I was like, I'm not going to show the book, because when you show magic, then sometimes people have like a bad image of magic, like, oh, it's witchcraft. You know, I'm not here trying to curse people or anything. It's just the magic of the words, the magic of the poetry we're saying, you know, when you have a mantra and you're both singing a song at the same time.
There's energy power in your words. There's energy in your words.
Yeah, exactly. And so with the sigil is taking the energy of the words but placing them in the subconscious. So this is super interesting. So for example, so these 4 come from the book. I redid one. This one I just modified it a little bit, that I prefer this way. But they're from the book. So this one is to protect your home. This one is for courage. This one I think is for creativity. And this one I think is for manifestation. But I will have to double check, okay, if it's not right. But they say in the book that the sigils, they've been accepted. That's the word. It's not like it's universal. It's more, it's been recognized, accepted as a symbol that represents that. But of course you can create your own. So how does it work? You take a word. So I wanted a sigil for imagination, because I was telling you earlier that the thing that blocks me most is that when I have a lot of enthusiasm for something and energy, you know, ready to go, and that someone comes and tells me, it's not realistic, or this is not bringing you money, or whatever, anything. I'm just taking two examples here, but and so I always say people, but instead of telling me I'm crazy, can you have some imagination? You know, just imagine the best outcome possible. Why do we have to imagine the worst outcome possible? Because then we stay in this lower vibration. Can we imagine the best outcome possible? And at least if it's not happening, well, at least I've been dreaming, you know, like I told you last time, can I enjoy my joy? So we came up with this together when we were talking. And so I created one for imagination. So hopefully if you're watching this, and it's imagination with a big N, like imagine for the nation, like you can imagine the best thing for you and for everyone as well, and for all the countries, because once, you know, we can imagine the best outcome, there will be no more war, and the communication as well. Once we start understanding a language, there's no longer your own language to your own culture, but also, so I'm not saying you should remove the languages, because it's the richness of us, our differences, our languages, but that we also speak a universal language that can help you understand each other beyond words. That's what was interesting with the sigils. So you take the words, imagination, and then you create a symbol out of these letters, but the letters are camouflaged. Okay, so in mine, I left them kind of obvious, just to give a first step to the mind, to be like, I see how it works. Because if you would see that, you would be like, what is it? How do they make it up and stuff? So this is less simplified, let's say, but I wanted it on purpose, that the mind can recognize it, so they're like, this is how it works. And once the first step is done and you see it, then you will see it in everything else, and it's going to develop this way. So you have the M, the I, the A, the G and the S at the same time. I mean, it's super simplified, but this is the energy I put in it. You can create your own sigils as well. So this one is going to France. So this is the big announcement. I'm not going to tell you everything, but you see, the one day I wanted to do I did the 2 Metatrons cube, and I was like, so one is going to Dean, the other one is going to Europe, and I wanted one to go to France for this exhibition in France, in Saint-Jean-Cap-Ferrat, that we're going to do with the Arts Riviera tour with Wendy Lowers. Thank you so much for welcoming me there. I'm excited, preparing everything. I was like, I don't know what painting today, guys. I'm excited, but I'm going to try to make a painting when I'm in France, explicitly for the exhibition, just like this one. And so when I did this one, I was like, I want to do a no rule version of the Metatron cube, let's say. So I did the circles, but I didn't want to have any rules. I just traced the circle like they were coming, and then they ended up crossing each other, and then I was like, so now how am I going to fill it? How am I going to paint them from the inside? And so I kept the purple for the Metatron's energy, and the blue, and you see how this is blue but it looks purple because the background is prune colors. So when you put them together, it looks purple. So you see the colors, they look different on how So this is a very beautiful painting. I will tell you more about it when I'm in France, but I will need to show you as a trilogy that's gonna go here and there, and all together we're developing this rainbow bridge. Where is it? I wanted to finish with this one and this one. Okay, the 2 cards. Hey, here you go. So thank you for watching, everyone. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel to see all my videos and tutorials, or see my original art on my website, Pachaman Art, www.pachamanart.org. And if you have any question, you can comment. And if you're making a painting following my tutorials, I would love to see the pictures, so please comment or send me your pictures, and I'd love to see that. Alright, thank you, have a great week, holidays, summer, everyone, and we will see you soon. Bye. Okay, so after our presentation today, which was the last of the 7, maybe 8 or 9, because I had some extra videos I haven't posted yet, maybe they'll pop up later, of this Metatrons Vibes series that has been pretty extensive. I think it's the longest series of videos that I've done. You can see there was a lot of information that came through. It took me 2 months to do this series. It's been a pleasure. I was kind of quick on the goodbyes, but it's been a pleasure doing this series for you guys, painting for Dean and Lulu, and for this exhibition coming in France. As you can see, I have some frames of my family. I'm about to fly and meet them for the summer. I'm going to be shipping these paintings tomorrow, on Monday. I have all the boxes here, made some pretty boxes, and the painting's ready to go. It's hard to say goodbye after working on it so much, but now I'm excited that it gets through you, and hopefully that this will bring you great energies, all the energies. Hope that you will feel them in your everyday. And there is also a little anecdote I forgot to talk about. So when I was in Peru, like, I've always wanted to go to Peru since, like, I was studying at the university, and the day we were in class and they talked about the Inca civilizations and stuff like that, and as soon as I saw Machu Picchu, right away, like, ding, what's this? Well, I mean, I've known about Machu Picchu from a long time, but it was like the reminder, oh, you forgot, you gotta get there, you know. So I became obsessed that I had to go to Machu Picchu. And so from a day to another, I woke up and I told all my friends, like, okay, at the end of this year, I'm gonna go live in Peru. And oh, really? Yeah, I'm going to go live in Peru. I know it. And from that day that I made the decision, everything starting like the day after I get into the master's office, and there is a girl talking. She's like, yeah, I'm just coming back from Peru. I was a language teacher there at the university, blah, blah, through a program. I'm like, what? Are you kidding? What's that? Give me all the information, the documents and stuff like that. And so she gives me everything. I apply for it. Literally 2 weeks later, there is a new student in my class, you know, and I go talk to her. I'm like, hey, you know, I've seen you a couple of times. Where are you from? She's like, oh, I'm from Peru. And so I was like, what? That's crazy. And so here and then we became super good friends, and in the end I got hired for that job, and I went to my friend Helga. We went to Lima together, and nothing turned out the way it was supposed to be. Then they lost my fire for the job. I had to find another job. That went all crazy, but it doesn't matter because that was the step I needed. That was the thing I needed to take the step, you know? And I wasn't meant for that job, but I was meant to be selected for it so I could have the guts to go and do it. And I got to Peru, and so then the next step was to go to Machu Picchu. And so it was the same thing. I went there, I went to Machu Picchu, a whole bunch of adventures happened like always. And I remember that morning going to Machu Picchu. It was just like, I talk about it in my book. If you read the book, you know, but it's like completely foggy. There is this neblina everywhere, and like I'm climbing up, I'm following the guide, we're climbing up, all the way to the top, and you couldn't really see. And so I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, maybe I'm gonna be disappointed because I've idolized it so much that it can be as great as, you know, I imagine it, as I idealize it. And we're climbing it. And he's like, okay, we're on top. We're going to wait for the sun to come up now. And so it's all white. Imagine you're inside a cloud. It's all white everywhere, inside a cloud. And all of a sudden, the first rays of the sun pierce through the sky and open up. And everything starts like appearing. Like the veil starts lifting and all the city starts to appear. And I was just like, okay, it was not even close to what I could imagine. It was so much better. It was even better. It was just this magic, you know, this magic moment. And I spent the day there. I stayed as long as I could, and I remember like being, after we did all the tour and visiting and calming down a little bit, and it was like almost time to go, and I was like, I don't want to go, it's my dream, like I'm here. Once I step out of here, it's over, you know. So I was just staying, and I was like, so now what? Like I'm 25 years old, that's it. You know, my dream was to get here. I'm on the wonder of the world here, and I was like, so now what? You know, like what's gonna be my purpose? What's next? You know, and I had this little voice, you know, that says, this is just the beginning. And it's so funny because during Dean's training, I think it's Shelton, I hope I get his name right, he was saying the same story, the same thing. This is just the beginning, and you know, you're unlocking, you know, something different. So that's, I'm feeling this right now with the painting as well. I'm kind of like, I don't want to wrap it. I kind of like to, you know, keep painting it and doing these videos and explaining all the process, and I'm gonna wrap it and then it's gone, you know. But it fills my heart that Dean is gonna have it. Thank you for everything. I hope you're watching. I want to send a little personal message to you and your family. I love you guys, and you all are amazing. It's not always I'm here saying compliments about everybody, even though I think well of everyone, but it's always easier to you know, talk about the actual technique and everything, that showing feelings. But I'm really so grateful for all this community and all that the painting represents as well. People that inspire me every day for creating all this and bringing sense to everything. It's so beautiful. So I'm so happy. I'm gonna go to France. I didn't really think I would be able to do everything that I had to do before I go to France. I tried to move my plane ticket and I couldn't. And so I'm leaving in 2 days. I had to finalize everything before I go. I have some more stuff to do, but I can do it from the computer from the summer. In the summer, I'm going to be preparing the workshops for August. This is just the beginning, you know. I know I have to come back here. I know we're gonna keep doing workshops, and we're a great community in the making here in Florida, and there is no way that it's not going to work. It's going to, because it's going to be divine and amazing. So cool workshops in project. We actually have one date already that is set, August 8th. So on the 8/8 for the Lions Gate, we will be doing a workshop at the House of Leaves and Bean, in Jacksonville. And so we're gonna do the usual workshop on 8x8, and the workshop is $88 as well, so it's a lot of eights. Infinity workshop. It's gonna be called the Zen Mandala workshop. And when the owner of the House of Leaf and Beans, she's gonna be doing a tea ceremony as well. So we're gonna be painting, learning about the tea. I was there the other day. They told me a lot about the tea, and you know, all their food, their ingredients is so good, and they make everything from scratch there. So it's a really great place to know and people to work with as well. This is how we put all our talents together, you know, the food for the body and soul. And you know, also I'm really good friend with Davy from Mirai Hillbilly, so we'll probably be doing workshops there. Please support your favorite restaurants and your favorite artists, because we love you guys and we want to, you know, share all the best and create this circular energy between all of us, you know, like the chakras, like the ninja energy. Okay, it's not try to be all linear anymore, but create a fusion. Yeah, so my next video will be from the French Riviera. I'm so excited. I'm gonna see my friend. We're gonna have an amazing exhibition. I'm bringing 3 paintings there, and I promised I was going to make one from France. I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have time and stuff, but I said I was gonna do it, so I'm going to do it. So it's gonna be a mix of a landscape and mandala, but I will be doing all this from France, hopefully making a new tutorial, and that you will be able to find on mastermind.com, because the whole start about all this is my mentor, Dean, and all his trainings I've been following that are just amazing. In case you didn't get it, and I talk about them all the time. And they have an awesome website, mastermind.com, where everyone is able to share their courses and the things that seems easy for you, your passion, your specialty. It's not always that easy for everyone, and sometimes you can make just a quick tutorial to teach people something that are gonna save them a lot of time. Like we were talking with my friend earlier about like remedies, natural remedies, you know, to get rid of some stuff that in the hospital right away they give you antibiotics for this, when after years of research and testing a bunch of plants, I have the solution for it. It's actually read from one book I can recommend right now. Completely out of the topic, but while we're that's also the point of the mastermind, you know, how you're saving years of, I've researched things for years before I found the right solution. And so if you can go straight to it, you don't have to spend other years. You can spend your years doing something that you love. Okay, so this one is called Naturally Healthy Babies and Children. My friend is pregnant, and this is from Aviva Gilram. Aviva Gilram, amazing book. It's like my health Bible, even for myself. Okay, so stuff that at the hospital they give me antibiotics for it. Here doing the blends, tea blends or tinctures blends. For example, when I was pregnant, I had, after 6 or 7 months or 8 months, the baby was pressuring my sciatic nerve. Okay, so one morning I woke up with sciatica and I was paralyzed. I woke up completely paralyzed. I couldn't move left, I couldn't move right. Nothing. For 2 weeks I couldn't walk, nothing. It was horrible. I had this like electricity in my back, like shocking my back. And then so I got the book, and St. John's wort tincture. St. John's wort tincture. Everybody I talk to about this, they say, oh, but this is for depression. Yes, this is the plant that helps for depression. So what does it do? It relaxes your body. And because it relaxes your body, the nerve that is stuck, lets go of the nerve. The nerve is released. And in like 3 hours, literally in 3 hours, the sciatica was gone. When you have people that have sciatica for years, for months, one plant relaxes everything, and that's it. So super awesome book, even if for you. And she has another one called Natural Pregnancy Book. Okay, so it's completely out of topic, but maybe someone is watching this and they will love to read this. Okay, Echinacea is also the to-go-to natural remedy for all immune system things. So as soon as you start getting sick, or even just for prevention, you can drink all these teas that they have supermarket with echinacea, ginger, all these antioxidants, and help for your immune system. You know, I drink a shot of ginger every day, almost. Ginger and cayenne pepper and lemon.